Hi, everyone, and welcome to the community call. My name is Ashley Kariaka, and I help with the operations of CasperLabs. On today's call, we'll be talking about our marketing plans for the Chinese community. We are joined in today's call by Meta, Ashok, Cathy, and Louise. We will have a Q&A at the end of this call, so please drop any questions you may have in the YouTube comments on Discord and Telegram. Thanks everyone for joining, and I'm passing it off to you, Meta.
Thanks a bunch, Ashley, for the intro. So everyone, you can post your comments in YouTube or in Telegram, and Ashley will gather up those questions. Of course, we always do an AMA as part of these calls. And we have a lot of participants on the call today, so really excited to welcome everyone here. And without further ado, let's kick it off. So those of you who know me, I am Meta Parlikar, the CTO and one of the co-founders of CasperLabs, the company that built the software that launched the Casper network. Very happy to announce that the Casper network was launched by the validators in the community last week. It's officially been a week as of tomorrow that the network has been live. And I'm joined by Ashok Randive, our Director of Professional Services. CasperLabs is a professional services company, and we offer software engineering services and consulting services for companies that want to use blockchain technology, specifically and namely the Casper protocol, and to go live and take benefit of blockchain technology. I'm joined today by Cathy and Louise, so I'm going to turn it over to Cathy and allow her to tell us a bit about herself and her role at CasperLabs.
Thank you, Meta. Hi, everyone. This is Cathy. I just joined CasperLabs recently, and I'm doing all the Chinese market. So right now, I'm the managing director for Chinese market. That's all from me.
Wonderful. Louise, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. This is Louise. I'm helping Casper on China's community and marketing. I've been with Casper since 2019. Glad to see you here.
Amazing. We're so excited to have both of you ladies on board. Louise, you've done tremendous work with the Chinese community, so thank you very much. I'm so grateful for having you on the project and helping out so much. So let's dive in a little bit more on what we're going to do with our recap in China. So you have the floor.
Thank you, Meta. In the past 1 month, we have done quite a lot in Chinese market. So for PR and marketing side, we have done a lot of flash news and PR. First is about our coin list sale and our partnerships with various partners in China and outside of China. Then we also announced my appointment with CasperLabs. And meanwhile, we have a lot of media partners publish PR news about us, about how to participate our coin list sale, which is very popular in China and globally actually, and also PR news about who we are and what we are focusing. And second part is we have quite a lot of online promotion and branding in China. 18th of March, we did a live streaming with Telegraph China. 31st of March, we conduct a AMA with Erdo Finance and Coin4A, which they are the two crypto media in China. And the 1st of April, we did a AMA with Li Chang. They have a lot of community supporters for CasperLabs as well. For the offline conference, I have participated in 2 conferences. First is the Jinse Finance Shenzhen conference. I attended as a panelist together with other very popular and famous Mainnet project to share with the community who we are and why Casper is so popular. And recently on 28th of March until 1st of April in Hangzhou, there is a conference which is focused on developer communities, which are main from Ethereum and Polkadot developer communities. So I attend this event have met a lot of developers, which we are thinking will be very good for us ecosystem development in the future. Okay, that is our marketing recap.
That's terrific, wonderful. And just to kind of clarify, the Casper Association and the validators launched the network yesterday, and CasperLabs, we are the company that built the network. We have the professional services division. Cathy, you're also doing some work, not just for the public network, but you're also talking to private enterprises too, right? Can you talk a little bit about the plan for enterprise adoption, in China, and how you will play such a big role in that because of your background?
Yes, I think in the following slide, I will give a little bit introduction about that. Okay, besides that, we have our community and road shows coming up. For communities, we have grown over 10K community members. We have 15 WeChat groups. Among that, there are 6 WeChat groups which are run by us, and we still have a lot of other groups managed by our partners, and the numbers are still growing. We have our official Chinese blog on CSDN, which is the biggest Chinese developer community, and Bihu, which is the biggest Chinese blockchain community. You can find us by search our official channels or scan this QR code, or just simply you can go to our Telegram groups. And for road shows, we are planning a road show in 5 cities in China from 14th of April until 30th of April. The 5 cities in China are Shenzhen, Shanghai, Hangzhou, Chengdu, and Beijing. Those 5 cities, the reason we choose them they are the most popular cities, or which are for blockchain, some for exchanges, some for traders, some for investment funds, and some are folks has a lot of developers or miners. So those are the 5 cities we're focusing, which is coming up. Will also lead us to our partners discussion, which is in the next slide. Okay, so just now Madam mentioned about our partnerships with corporate or other partners, which it will be our May onwards focus. So from March, our focus was pre-coin list sale. We did a lot of pre-coin list sale PR and marketing, and general PR, marketing and branding for Casper. We had a lot of conversations with exchanges about our listing, and also potential partners coordination. Here, the partners including exchanges, funds, investors, communities, and also corporate as well. We also was planning the roadshow. Right now, come to April, our focus is pre-trading. For pre-trading, we finalized our exchanges listing and also schedule. We finalized our launching strategy. And for roadshow, we're still working in progress, which is coming in one or 2 weeks' time. And we also worked with a lot of good resources in China who can help us to grow in Chinese market. We did a lot of coordination and relationships building with them. And May, our focus will be trading on exchanges. Our first exchange launch and the trading preparation, which we are doing that, and also the launching strategy, not only the trading, but also the marketing and other business partners. Besides the first launch exchange, we also have more and more exchange partners are preparing for our listing, and also we are scheduling them out. Meanwhile, we are doing a lot of PR and marketing and branding together with those business partners. So from now on until May, we are going to see a lot of news and events seeing Casper's name. For May onwards, our focus is partnership. We focus on the partnership development with funds, exchanges, media, developers, which are still blockchain focused. And we are also focused on building up, promoting more development in our ecosystem, which these are two parts. One is developer community. I have met a lot of Polkadot developer community. After we will discuss with them to show them our developer kit, whether it's very user friendly for them. We are going to talk to them, try to invite more people to develop on Casper. And meanwhile, we are also starting to have conversation with some enterprise, corporate, and also some education academy. So that will be our focus from May onwards. That's the roadmap for now.
Excellent. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that comprehensive update, Cathy. This is terrific. And I'm going to now move into the development update. So let's talk about what's coming next. So current status on the engineering front. So we are of the to release this week or so. I'm getting a notification that my internet is unstable. Can everyone hear me still?
You're cutting off.
Okay. Just a moment.
You're cutting off.
My connection is bad.
Ashok to the rescue.
Yeah. Is it better now? Can you hear me now?
Yes. You want to use mine?
I'm good. Okay. So we are working on our first update of the protocol that will come into the validator's hands thereabouts.
Yeah, Meda, you're cutting off.
Okay, Ashok, do you want to give the update so we can maintain some continuity here?
Yep. 1 second.
Can you hear me now? I think my connection came back.
We can hear you, yes.
Okay, good. So I'll carry on. So the development team is planning on cutting a package and delivering the package around April 26th. This will give the validators somewhere between 3 to 5 days to update their systems and be ready for the upgrade activation point, which is planned to be thereabouts a few days before actual trading will start. We are going through our quant stamp security review, and they did have some findings, so that those fixes will definitely be in. So it will be a critical patch that is going to be necessary. The network started on March 31st. We are currently at block 7,853 with 51 validators, and ironically, how do we have 56 bits? Oh, I think there are 5 validators that have been ejected. So we started off with 56 validators in the set. 5 validators were not ready in time for a variety of reasons. And so they are currently in the ejected state. And I am working with the association to get them basically back into the validator pool. So nothing has happened to their tokens. They are just not participating actively in consensus at the moment. We are working with the Dev DAO to support the Testnet. So Tim, do you want to talk a little bit about the plans for Testnet?
Sure. Yeah, we're going to be launching from our Telegram chat, which is at DevXDAO. The full plans, or at least are the beginning of them, the beginning of the testnet tomorrow. So the team from Make Services has coordinated with us to instantiate the network. We are going to provide rewards for at least the top 100 validators, and then have a number of other rewards that are going to be participation and objective based. So we're going to try to make this fun. This is ultimately going to be a network that we hopefully can all rely on. This will eventually be the network where all software is tried and tested before ending up on the mainnet. But getting started with us now, a lot of people are worried about whether or not they will be able to participate and will be able to get rewards. I'd suggest joining us in the Telegram chat. Information hasn't been released yet. It should be out tomorrow. We're planning on trying to make the objective and the experience rewarding for all, as many as we can. Ideally, both educating people on how to run the software, making sure that they're running it responsibly, reliably, and also testing different features or issues when it comes to potential upgrades or different community features. Those are the things that will be tested on the testnet as we go and we lead it. But yeah, you haven't missed anything yet. If you jump on at some point tomorrow, you'll see that it'll be in the pinned message. We have a lot of people there with some pent up excitement, ready to go and start running it. But yeah, we are looking forward to getting that going, and come join us on Telegram to find out more.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're very excited about that. One thing to note, Timothy, is that probably the validators in Mainnet will need a place to stage and test the upgrade as well. So I'm not sure how that's going to work, because we do have 56 validators, and that's just going to eat up a lot of the community slots, and I don't think that's the right way to go. So we might ask the validators to spin up something just for their benefit, right? So we may go through, we got to talk about it, but I know as a validator, I got to believe that they'll want to run the code before someplace, right? In a network someplace before that they agree upon. So
yeah, we've talked about the super sturdy expected network, and then the burn it all down, tear it apart, and rebuild it style testnet as well.
Yeah,
so
we might need something like that for the validators, someplace where they can just hack around and get comfortable with the code before they update their system. So
sounds good. But yeah, we're having a lot of fun talking about it on DevXDAO. So anyone who wants to come over, we will also we'll propagate the information to the Discord channel as well. So if you're on there, you'll receive it as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, people also ping me a lot about grants. So when will you, now that Mainnet is launched, can you start now voting on grants and such?
We can for non-Americans. We're working through some of the initial grants now. We've got a couple that we're going to be. We've had kind of a priorities list that we've had to go through. So we're getting those done. We have our governance system that we're testing now, and we should be able to be executing with before the end of next week. So that's going to help out a lot with the expediency of pushing grants through, but we are receiving applications now. So we get a good amount of applications every day. Don't want to say how many, but more than 100 right now we're receiving a day. So it takes us a little bit of time to go through and wade through everything. But devxdao.com, I believe it's just /applications or application. But it's on the website, and you'll start to receive more notifications about where you are in the process as we go through. We'll really be in full swing as the network starts to kick up. So our goal has always been to have the process done before before tokens started moving and tokens started being traded. So within the next week and a half or so, we'll have everything online and actually on chain. We just completed the code to actually integrate the governance process on Casper.
I know there was a requirement. There was a requirement around the associated accounts, right? So there's a limit that's currently, it's a rather arbitrary limit. So I know that you guys need that increase. We should probably talk about that and see what the number could be. We haven't done much scalability testing with that. We probably need to test it with the new limit, but we should definitely chat about
for those that are wondering what we're talking about. We base our reputation. Our reputation is non-fungible, but rather than using, we also created a solidity version of the contract and used non-fungible tokens. But we were able, through the magic of the Casper blockchain, use a feature of weighted keys. And that's something that we're trying to expand upon. And when we recognize the possibilities of what it can do, we did have to use a different method initially to be able to start working in testing, but that's the feature one of the features we're most excited about. So yeah, that's what Meta is referring to. Yeah,
exactly. Fantastic. Great update there. Thank you. So let's see, we're talking a little bit about highways. So we've got a few small fixes. This is around a synchronization of vertices with a lower sequence number. This is really around joining new nodes, joining the network, and updating their protocol state. On the node side, we're looking at social consensus emergency restart. For those of you that are not familiar, there is a way to do a hard reset of the protocol in the event of a catastrophic failure. This is similar to like a 51% attack, right? There is a way to attack the protocol. And this is a new protocol, right? So we don't know what we don't know. So we felt the only responsible thing was to empower the community a way to restart the blockchain in the event of a critical failure. We certainly would never ship a protocol without having this. So we have a naive social consensus mechanism that we actually tested in Delta Testnet. We had to use it and it worked successfully. This is an improvement upon that makes it a little bit more elegant and cleaner to do an emergency restart. Prototype joiner associated with fast synchronization. So we will be providing thin client implementation and fast sync and state pruning, and this joiner works with that. We prepared for Mainnet. Obviously, Mainnet is launched. So now the team actually has their alerting system set up in PagerDuty. So someone from CasperLabs does get woken up in the middle of the night if we get a critical alert on Mainnet. I'm happy to report there haven't been any critical alerts on Mainnet whatsoever. It's been running beautifully and stably, no issues whatsoever. On the ecosystem front, the JavaScript SDK, we're implementing the serialization methods, and we're also doing some UI UX enhancements. We're also working with Ledger. So just so you know, we are working with a Ledger integration, and part of the Casper Signer UI UX is doing the Ledger integration piece with that. Make has really taken over the Clarity interface, and there will be a brand new Block Explorer that's deploying at some point in the near future. I don't know what the time frame is for that. Does anyone on the DevDAO know when the new Block Explorer is coming? Going once, going twice?
It's imminent. That's the last time I heard it. It's imminent.
It's imminent, right? Yeah.
Days, yeah.
They're excited about it too.
This week, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it as well. We're also building course slides and recordings, and we're also going to be announcing a really exciting hackathon. So we're preparing for that. You guys will hear about that hackathon in the coming weeks as soon as we're ready to announce it. And we're preparing the themes for those hackathons. So very, very good stuff coming out from that. Ashley, I'm ready to turn it over to questions if you have questions. Oh, Ashok, did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit about the economic research work that is happening. We are working on a roadmap really to dive deeper on the research that we want to do, which will continue to add features and enhance the security and scalability of the blockchain. So that plan is being worked on maybe this week and a couple of weeks more, and probably we'll be able to present it to the community in coming weeks.
Amazing. That's terrific. Ashley, you have questions?
Yes. So one of the first questions, so the last community call, Cliff mentioned that we are being backed by some governments. Does that mean directly backed by these governments or indirectly like BSN, how they're funded by the Chinese government?
Yeah, so we'll be hearing more about these announcements once they're finalized, but the team is heading over to meet with members of the government. It is the government directly. It is high-ranking members of the government that want to use blockchain technology to automate their systems. This would not necessarily be the public chain. This would be an enterprise engagement using Casper technology for government-backed, blockchain-based solutions, right? So it's directly with the government. It is not like BSN. It's a direct engagement with a government.
Yeah, this is more of a enterprise engagement where the government is an enterprise client for us, and we would be involved in various activities of the government using the Casper technology.
Yeah, that's right. Next question, Ashley.
Next one is, what is Casper's approach to decentralized identity?
So we have some interesting ideas around decentralized identity. I think Mark Anabali is on the line. Do you want to talk a little bit about your philosophy around decentralized identity? Marco, you on?
Yeah, do we have that kind of time?
I'll give you 5 minutes. How's that?
Okay. In broad strokes, there is no blockchain that could capably handle decentralized identity because of the nature of blockchains. So we have a project underway at the DevDAO to investigate an infrastructure that could supply the needed core functionality that is not blockchain, but provides full decentralization at the key pair level, which can then be integrated with any blockchain and provide you with a methodology whereby privacy is fully self-controlled, transparency is mandatory and unavoidable, but in a private manner, and the infrastructure is not centralized in any way that would allow for bad actors to even collaborate in any rational way. To go into more detail would be to get into the actual logical models and stuff like that. Suffice it to say that we've looked at all the existing platforms out there, and all of them have the same centralization problem. And the one thing you do not want to mess with when you're talking about bringing digital identity into being is the even sliver of a chance that it could ever be centralized, because you would literally be able to take over the planet if you were able to centralize it.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah,
I think we're dealing with.
Yeah, I think the other big problem is that when it's tokenized, right? So the minute identity becomes tokenized, now you're looking again at commercial interests relating to identity, which is like the fundamental problem, right? So this would it would have to be an architecture and infrastructure that, one, is not tokenized, right? So there should be no token associated with identity. Number
the incentive model for operating the network is participation.
That's right. Yeah. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is that the authorization method for the identity would have to come from the user, right? So it's a very specific handshake where you say, okay, I authorize you to have access to this piece of information, but guess what? You don't get anything else. You just get that piece.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. So that's like high level, like when you talk about the principles around decentralized identity, this is what we're looking at. Next question, Ashley.
So the next question is, what Casper can do on future? What makes Casper different among the over 9K coins?
Okay, so first of all, Casper is not an ERC coin, right? Casper is not a DeFi coin. Casper is a layer 1 coin. And so when you talk about the number of layer 1 protocols, the field is significantly smaller, right? There aren't 9,000 layer 1 protocols. There's a lot, but there isn't 9,000 of them. Number one. Number two, Casper provides the features that enterprises need in order to integrate blockchain technology into their larger application architecture, right? We provide tooling for smart contract management, such as upgrades and authorizations for upgrades, in addition to an elegant developer experience that allows them to build and deploy and test their contracts alongside the rest of their application. In addition to having smart contract development in Rust or assembly script, with the ability for us to add other languages fairly easily without needing a protocol fork, right? We just build contracting libraries and they can start compiling to WASM and deploy those contracts. So it's really more about building a blockchain that's purpose-built for business vis-a-vis a blockchain that focuses more on immutability or focuses more on, Web3, we're really driving towards bringing the Web2 community into Web3, right? That's what makes this really different. Do you have any questions from China coming to Cathy and Louise while they're here?
No, I don't see any other questions about the roadmap for the Chinese community or marketing. I did message some of you on YouTube just to clarify your questions. So if you don't answer them today, please join our Telegram group, and the admins are very responsive.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a quick just comment for the team from China. This is Timothy Lewis. We don't have yet many participants in the DevX DAO from our China community. And I would love the opportunity to speak with both of you about the mission of the DevX DAO and then our ability to provide grants, developer grants within the CasperLabs ecosystem and try to find potential people that from the Chinese community that might be able to help supplement our mission out in that area of the world. We feel it's very important to be able to explain this opportunity internationally, explain the opportunity to the rest of the participants in the international decentralized web community. And I'd love to take some time with both of you or either of you to kind of explain how the program works, and potentially if you had some people from the Chinese Casper community that were developers, that we could start discussing how to build out a pathway for that community so we could find great projects and great people to distribute grants to.
Yes, for sure. Let's schedule a call. Actually, we got some questions from our Chinese community asking how to participate in the DAO. And yeah, that definitely, let's figure out how to help them.
Sounds great.
Terrific. That's amazing. Any other questions, Ashley?
So one more, how can Casper secure decentralization on private applications?
How can Casper secure decentralization on private applications? I think I need a little bit more details.
Okay.
Of what they're asking about. So if I understand correctly, they're saying there's a private blockchain or a private application, and how does Casper provide security and decentralization? There's a very well-known hybrid chain model, right? Where you just ship information from your blockchain, your private blockchain, to the public blockchain as a transaction. So what we would do is we will create a special transaction type that will enable these private blockchains to obtain security from the public blockchain by publishing a specific piece of information, be it a Merkle proof from a block or a finality signature or something coming from the Casper protocol out to the public chain. And they would get this Merkle proof back, which they could then store, right? It might even be finality signatures associated with the public blockchain that contains your information into a future block saying, well, this past block was signed off on the public chain. Therefore, up to this point, nothing on this private chain has been changed. And that's a fairly simple implementation. It's not very complicated at all. And what we would do is make it very, very easy when you built a private blockchain to just ship, right, at some increment, you would basically tie into the public chain for additional security. This is a very easy way to scale out, right? If you think about scaling, I can get all the trust parameters from the public blockchain without actually having to publish everything on the public blockchain. So this is one of our strategies.
And then someone just asked, why is China our focus as well? Like, why did we decide to choose China?
Oh, that's a great question. So, Cathy, do you want to speak to China's role in the blockchain community at large?
Yes, sure. Yeah, so for China, first of all, it's a very, very big market. If we look at the market size, it's very big. And second is Chinese people. which are very, very excited and open-minded about blockchain. There are a lot of mining, probably over 60% of the mining power, which are in China. And the Chinese traders also very, very active. So from the volume size, which are very, very big. And third is the Chinese government. Chinese government really want to focus on blockchain technology to develop and to be the leader in blockchain. So they are very open-minded. From government perspective, they are supporting the technology. Also, we can see in a lot of cities, they start to adapt some technology in like government invoice and many other things. So from government perspective, they are doing a lot of things to support the technology. We see a really, really good opportunity to work here. And number three is the Chinese enterprise and corporate. Chinese enterprise and corporate, there are a lot of startups which are willing to try new things, and a lot of funds support them as well. So overall, from those perspective, from the market size, from the government attitude, from the overall commercial environment, also from there are a lot of blockchain communities here in China. So China is a very big and important market for us.
Yeah, fantastic. That's exactly right. You know, for the public blockchain as well as for the private enterprise opportunities for CasperLabs, China is definitely a strategic market. And you'll find that Cathy kind of has one foot in each camp, right? So she does some support work for the public blockchain, which is very separate from her work in enterprise, right? So right now her focus is obviously, you know, a little bit more on the public blockchain side, doing some work for the association. But then, you know, once that's kind of launched, she'll be pivoting a lot of her energy over to the private CasperLabs, you know, side work for enterprise businesses as well.
Just wanted to chime in real quick. As far as I know, that China won't be the only area of the world that that the goal of Casper is to integrate with. I think if the question was directed about why China, as if it was the only place, that's definitely not the case. Just wanted to chime in and say that there are plenty of other places in the world that the community is thriving in. I know, were there something like 10 other language channels that you had kicked up, Meta, during the process? I mean, there are many other places of the world that are starting to and getting involved in the Casper community. What other countries would you say, or other parts of the world?
Yeah, definitely not kicked up by me. I mean, a lot of these things are just kind of taken off on their own with a lifeblood of their own. So I know that we've got Telegram channels in a variety of different countries, right?
Turkish,
Obviously, Nina.
Spanish.
Yeah, Turkish, Spanish, India. There's quite a few. Obviously, China doesn't use Telegram as much. They use WeChat, and as Louise and Cathy described today. But yeah, in a variety of different countries. So yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, terrific. Anything else, Ashley?
Cathy, to branch off that question, what is Casper's strategy to tackling the Asia market overall as to opposed just China? Would you say it was the same strategy that you had reviewed in today's call?
No, the overall the Asia market, which is very, very big, we can divide it by Asia market like East Asia. Even East Asia, we have China, Japan, and Korea. The culture is very different. The users' habit is very different. And so we should adapt slightly different strategy, but the overall direction will be same. We need to focus on the public side to consider about the existing crypto or blockchain community. And we also need to focus on the private side, which will be enterprise focused. I think the approach will be the same, but the exactly strategy could be slightly different. And besides East Asia, ASEAN countries has a lot of different countries. They are very, very different in culture as well, even though from the size, the volumes side, they are smaller than East Asia, but they have they're very open-minded, such as Indonesia, Vietnam. They are very open-minded to new technology, and so we're thinking for ASEAN countries, the strategy will be also slightly the East countries. Also, we're considering the purchasing power type of things. So it's quite different as well. So the detailed approach towards ASEAN countries will be also different. Then we also have South Asia. Many will be India part. So it will be also very different from the culture perspective, also the government policy. So we might take a different approach as well.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, the cultural differences, and we're hoping that, you know, through an organic growth, that the leaders will kind of just pop up in each of these countries, right? That's what we anticipate happening. So, and I think the DevDAO and the association will definitely take a front seat in that, and we'll be focused mostly on the enterprise engagement side of things. It should be interesting how we work together, right? To separate, but together. I think that's the best way to think about it. Any other questions, Ashley?
Let me not on my end from Joe. Let me just check the YouTube.
Sounds good.
One question. What should we expect after a year of development? And then how do you deal with regulations?
What should we expect after a year of development? So we're talking about like say that again.
I'm thinking maybe I need to have more clarity on this question.
Where do you expect to be in a year, Meta? What are your dreams for the Casper protocol?
So so it's really not going to be up to me. It's going to be up to the validators and the community to kind of tell me what to build. But I feature that one of the important things is going to be sharding. Sharding was something that we were initially going to deliver at mainnet launch, and we did defer it in favor of, you know, shipping the protocol sooner. So we will be looking at side chain sharding, not unlike what, you know, ETH 2.0 has with the beacon chain. And that's something that I do want to deliver to the association by the end of 2021. And I got to believe that the broader community will also want to see that as well. We have some very interesting smart contracting features that we would like to also deliver, namely the contract and account unification, you know, or equivalent thereof. Which will enable really, really cool things like, you know, contracts can stake their token, contracts can, you know, be governed the same way accounts can be governed. So that's a very interesting feature set that hopefully we can push forward. So there's a very deep, rich backlog of features that, you know, I'll be collaborating with the association on in terms of recommendations and the broader community. But now it's really going to be up to the community to kind of tell me what we want, what they want to see us build. Any other questions?
No, I think that's all the questions that the community had.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, thanks everyone for dialing in today, and hope to see you here same time, same place next week. Cheers. Have a spectacular week. Bye-bye.
Much appreciated, Meta.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Always. Thank you. Bye-bye.